Welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to talk about the habits that prevent us from achieving financial success. Many of us strive for financial independence, but we don't always realize that certain habits can hold us back. Today, we'll discuss 8 habits you need to break if you want to improve your financial situation. The first habit is living on credit. Many of us are used to using credit cards, taking out loans, and living on money we don't yet have. However, constantly accumulating debt makes it difficult to achieve financial stability. Try to reduce your use of credit and aim to live within your means. The Stoics viewed life as a finite resource that must be managed wisely. When a person lives on credit, they are postponing important tasks and decisions for the future, as if they have an endless amount of time. This creates the illusion that one can borrow time from the future to make up for today's procrastination or inaction. The Stoics encourage us to focus on the present moment and use each day mindfully. Living on credit means postponing happiness, self-fulfillment, and the fulfillment of moral obligations for later. This approach contradicts the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and reason, where it is important to act here and now. This habit is also related to self-deception. A person may convince themselves that they will have more time, energy, or opportunities in the future, and therefore can avoid acting in the present. The Stoics see this as an illusion and urge us to recognize that the present is all we have. The future is uncertain and may never come. In Stoicism, there is also an emphasis on the proper allocation of resources, both material and mental. Living on credit, in this context, can mean the unwise use of one's resources, such as accumulating stress, fatigue, or emotional debt, hoping that they will somehow dissolve in the future. From the Stoic perspective, a person is responsible for their actions and should strive to fulfill their duty to themselves and society. Living on credit violates this principle, as the person shirks their responsibilities, pushing them on to the future. The habit of living on credit in Stoicism is a metaphor for postponing life and decision-making. The Stoics call for mindfulness, wise use of time and resources, and living in the present, fulfilling one's duties, and striving for inner peace. The second habit is impulsive spending. Many people tend to spend money on things they don't need, giving in to momentary desires. To avoid this, make a shopping list in advance and try to stick to it. The Stoics teach that to achieve inner peace and happiness, it's important to control your emotions rather than be controlled by them. Impulsive purchases are an example of how emotions like joy, anxiety, stress, or even boredom can drive a person's behavior. When making an impulsive purchase, one acts under the influence of emotions rather than reason. Stoicism values a rational approach to life and making thoughtful decisions. Impulsive purchases contradict this principle because they are based on fleeting feelings rather than conscious necessity or long-term plans. The Stoics would suggest asking yourself before each purchase, is this really necessary, and will this benefit me in the long run? Impulsive spending is often associated with the pursuit of instant gratification, but the Stoics argue that true happiness isn't achieved through external material things. Such behavior might create a temporary illusion of joy but won't bring lasting inner peace, which the Stoics strive for. One of the key principles of Stoicism is self-sufficiency and independence from external circumstances. Impulsive purchases make a person dependent on material things, reducing their inner freedom. They can lead to financial problems, which in turn create additional stress and anxiety. The Stoics believe that many material things have less value than people attribute to them. Impulsive purchases are often based on an overestimation of the importance of goods, whether it's fashionable clothing, gadgets, or other items. This distracts from understanding what truly matters in life, such as virtue, personal development, or relationships with loved ones. Stoicism also embraces the idea of moderation and ethical consumption. Impulsive purchases can violate these principles, leading to excessive consumption and waste of resources. This can result in overconsumption, environmental pollution, and the destruction of ecosystems. Impulsive spending is not just a financial habit but a manifestation of deeper psychological processes related to a lack of self-control and a misguided understanding of happiness. Stoicism teaches mindfulness, rationality, and self-sufficiency, helping individuals avoid the traps of impulsive consumption and guiding them toward a more meaningful and balanced life. The third habit is neglecting your budget. A lack of planning and control over your expenses leads to money disappearing without bringing any real benefit. Create a budget and adhere to it. The habit of neglecting your budget in Stoicism is viewed as a manifestation of insufficient self-control and rational thinking. For Stoics, maintaining harmony and order in life is essential, and managing finances is one of the areas where these principles play a crucial role. Stoics highly valued the virtue of moderation, which implies balance and conscious use of resources, including financial ones. Neglecting your budget disrupts this balance, as a person spends more than they can afford without considering the consequences. This behavior contradicts the Stoic ideal of a rational and mindful life. Stoicism teaches us to manage our desires and not succumb to temptations that can lead to excessive spending. Neglecting a budget often stems from the desire to satisfy fleeting needs or to pursue external displays of status and success. Stoics would suggest asking oneself, do I really need this, and will this help me achieve inner peace and virtue? One of the key principles of Stoicism is independence from external circumstances. Financial instability caused by neglecting a budget can make a person dependent on external factors such as debts, loans, or assistance from others. This reduces inner freedom and makes a person more vulnerable to stress and anxiety. Stoics emphasize the importance of responsibility towards oneself and society. Neglecting your budget can lead to financial problems that affect not only the individual but also their loved ones. A lack of control over expenses violates the ethical principle of Stoicism, which requires a reasonable and responsible approach to life. Self-discipline is the ability to control one's actions and desires. Neglecting a budget indicates a lack of this virtue. Stoics believe that true happiness and satisfaction come through internal control, not external acquisitions. Managing your finances is one expression of self-discipline. Stoics recommended preparing for life's difficulties and anticipating potential problems. Neglecting a budget signifies a lack of planning, which can lead to unexpected financial hardships. Stoic thinking includes readiness for unforeseen events and the ability to cope with them through rational planning and preparation. Neglecting your budget is not just a financial mistake but a manifestation of deeper issues related to a lack of self-control, planning, and mindfulness. For Stoics, managing finances is as important as managing thoughts and actions, striving for inner harmony, independence, and an ethical life. Maintaining a budget is one way to express these virtues in everyday life. The fourth habit is procrastination. Delaying important tasks can lead to missed opportunities and failures. Learn to manage your time and complete tasks that contribute to your financial growth in a timely manner. Procrastination is the tendency to postpone important tasks despite knowing that it may lead to negative consequences. In the context of Stoicism, procrastination is seen as a lack of self-control, mindfulness, and responsibility, which contradicts the core principles of this philosophy. Stoics emphasize the importance of controlling one's thoughts and actions. From their perspective, procrastination results from a lack of self-discipline and an inability to manage desires and emotions. When a person procrastinates, they allow their weaknesses to overpower reason and willpower. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is living in accordance with nature, which includes fulfilling one's duties and striving for virtue. Procrastination hinders this because a person fails to meet their obligations in a timely manner, disrupting the harmony and order in their life. Stoics believe that every moment of life should be used productively, and delaying tasks is a missed opportunity for self-improvement. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the present moment and recognize that the future is unknown and unpredictable. Procrastination, however, is based on the false belief that we will have enough time in the future to complete what we postpone today. This leads to not using the time we have now, which contradicts Stoic wisdom. Procrastination undermines a sense of responsibility, both to oneself and to others. Stoics believed that a person should strive to fulfill their duties and obligations to society without delay. Procrastination weakens this responsibility, as it leads to avoiding tasks that can negatively affect not only the individual but also those who depend on their actions. Procrastination is often accompanied by self-deception and rationalization, where a person finds excuses for their delays. This contradicts the Stoic practice of honest and critical self-reflection. Stoics emphasize the importance of consciously analyzing one's thoughts and actions to avoid self-deception and to strive for character improvement. Procrastination is often driven by fear of the complexity of tasks or possible failures. However, Stoics taught that difficulties should be viewed as opportunities for growth and character strengthening. By delaying tasks, a person avoids this experience, hindering their personal development and resilience. Stoicism offers a solution to the problem of procrastination through the development of virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Procrastination can be overcome by consciously making decisions, strengthening willpower, and continuously striving for self-improvement. Stoics believe that a person can overcome their weaknesses through practice and self-discipline. In Stoicism, procrastination is seen as an obstacle to virtue and self-realization. It is a habit that disrupts harmony, self-discipline, and responsibility, distancing a person from fulfilling their duties and achieving inner peace. For Stoics, it is important to recognize the harm of procrastination and to strive to overcome it by developing virtues and using time rationally. The fifth habit is investing without proper knowledge. Many people invest money in dubious projects or stocks without understanding how investments work. Before investing, study the market, consult with experts, and make informed decisions. Investing without proper knowledge involves putting money or other resources into financial instruments, projects, or assets without fully understanding the risks, opportunities, and mechanisms involved. In the context of Stoicism, this habit reflects a lack of wisdom, self-control, and mindfulness. Stoics highly valued knowledge and understanding as the foundation for making sound decisions. Investing without sufficient knowledge contradicts this principle, as it often involves acting on assumptions, rumors, or advice without possessing complete information. Stoics would emphasize the importance of thoroughly studying and understanding what one is investing in. In Stoicism, wisdom, phronesis, is a key virtue that helps in making well-reasoned and thoughtful decisions. Investing without proper knowledge indicates a deficiency in this virtue, as decisions are made based on emotions, greed, or the desire for quick success rather than on rational analysis and comprehension of the situation. Stoics would advise asking oneself, is my decision well-reasoned and wise? Stoics taught the importance of controlling desires and not succumbing to temptations that could lead to undesirable outcomes. Investing without sufficient knowledge often occurs under the influence of the desire for quick wealth or the fear of missing out, FOMO. This leads to hasty decisions and, consequently, potential losses. Investing requires responsibility and mindfulness, both in managing one's finances and in considering the consequences that may arise. Stoics would stress that individuals should be responsible for their actions and understand the risks involved. Investing without proper knowledge violates this principle, as it risks not only financial resources but also inner peace if the investments turn out to be unsuccessful. Self-control and patience are important in Stoicism. Investing without proper knowledge is often accompanied by impulsive decisions, where a person acts hastily without fully understanding the risks. Stoics would advocate for approaching investments with mindfulness and patience, avoiding impulsive actions and the pursuit of quick results. Stoics acknowledged the unpredictability of life and considered it important to accept this as a fact. Investments, especially without proper knowledge, can be subject to significant risks due to market volatility and other external factors. A Stoic approach would involve recognizing these risks and preparing for potential losses, ensuring that they do not disrupt one's equilibrium. Stoics also emphasize the importance of ethical behavior and moral responsibility. Investing without proper knowledge can lead to negative consequences not only for the investor but also for others, particularly if one invests in questionable or unethical projects. A Stoic approach to investing would include an ethical evaluation of potential investments and their impact on society. Investing without proper knowledge is a practice that contradicts key Stoic principles such as wisdom, mindfulness, self-control, and responsibility. Stoics would stress the importance of thoroughly studying and understanding what one is investing in and caution against impulsive and ill-considered actions. For a Stoic, it is crucial not only to manage finances wisely but also to maintain inner peace, which could be disturbed by unjustified and risky investments. The sixth habit is neglecting personal development. If you don't strive to develop your skills and knowledge, you miss out on opportunities for career and financial growth. Invest in yourself, read books, take courses, and learn new things. Neglecting personal development is the habit of postponing or ignoring opportunities for self-improvement, learning, and growth. In Stoicism, such behavior is seen as a significant oversight, as personal development is a key aspect of achieving virtue and inner peace. In Stoicism, the primary goal of life is the attainment of virtue, which includes wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Personal development is the process through which a person strives toward these virtues by improving their character, knowledge, and behavior. Neglecting this process means missing out on the main goal of life, which contradicts Stoic principles. Stoics emphasize the importance of self-knowledge and mindfulness. Personal development requires regular reflection on one's thoughts, actions, and motives to consciously work on weaknesses and strengthen virtues. Neglecting this process leads to stagnation, where a person fails to understand their shortcomings and doesn't work to overcome them. In Stoicism, proper use of time is crucial because life is short. Neglecting personal development can be seen as wasting valuable time on empty or meaningless activities. Stoics believe that every day should be used to improve oneself and progress toward virtue, and neglecting this is a missed opportunity for growth. Personal development includes learning to manage one's emotions and desires, a key aspect of Stoic teaching. Neglecting personal development means remaining a slave to one's emotions and impulses, without striving for self-control and inner peace. Stoics believed that without self-control, true happiness could not be achieved. Stoics viewed personal development as a duty not only to oneself but also to society. By developing, a person becomes more capable of benefiting others, acting justly and wisely. Neglecting this aspect means that a person is not fulfilling their role in society to the best of their ability, which contradicts the Stoic ideal of responsibility. Wisdom is one of the central virtues in Stoicism, and its attainment requires constant learning, reflection, and self-analysis. Neglecting personal development hinders this process, leaving a person at the same level of understanding and awareness, preventing them from reaching deeper wisdom and making informed decisions. Stoics acknowledged the unpredictability and challenges of life, believing it was important to be prepared for any obstacles. Personal development helps to build resilience, courage, and inner strength necessary to overcome life's trials. Neglecting personal development makes a person less prepared for difficulties, reducing their ability to handle them with dignity and awareness. Neglecting personal development in Stoicism is seen as a missed opportunity to achieve virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. For a Stoic, personal development is not just a choice but a duty to oneself and society. It requires constant learning, self-analysis, and striving for self-improvement. Neglecting this process leads to stagnation, a decrease in self-control, and an inability to cope with life's challenges. The seventh habit, surrounding yourself with people who bring you down. If you are surrounded by people who don't support your goals and constantly criticize you, this can negatively affect your pursuit of success. Instead, interact with those who inspire and motivate you. The habit of surrounding yourself with people who bring you down is seen in Stoicism as a significant obstacle to personal development, the attainment of virtue, and inner peace. Such an environment can undermine your moral compass, distract you from important goals, and diminish your ability to act in accordance with reason and virtue. The Stoics recognize that one's environment strongly influences a person's character and behavior. If you are surrounded by people who behave negatively, irresponsibly, or immorally, this can gradually weaken your own virtue and lead to compromises with your principles. For the Stoics, it was important to choose an environment that supports and inspires personal growth and the achievement of virtue. The Stoics taught that a person is responsible for their decisions and actions, including the choice of their environment. If you continue to associate with people who bring you down, it may indicate a lack of self-control and awareness. The Stoics would suggest acknowledging this choice and taking steps to change your environment in favor of one that is more positive and supportive. In Stoicism, the importance of example and imitation is emphasized. If you are surrounded by people who demonstrate undesirable behavior, it can influence your own behavior, even if you are aware of their negative influence. The Stoics recommended seeking role models among those who live according to virtue and avoiding those who act otherwise. A negative environment can also undermine your emotional resilience, leading to frequent stress, disappointments, or internal conflicts. The Stoics believed it was important to maintain inner peace and balance, which becomes more difficult in a toxic environment. Constant interaction with people who bring you down can undermine your ability to remain calm and manage your emotions. The Stoics believed in the power of associating with wise and virtuous people who can support and inspire personal growth. If your environment brings you down, it deprives you of this support and inspiration. Instead, the Stoics would suggest seeking the company of people who help you grow, develop, and achieve higher goals. Personal development and self-improvement require an environment that fosters this process. The Stoics taught that associating with virtuous and wise people helps strengthen your own virtues and develop the qualities necessary to achieve inner peace and harmony. An environment that brings you down hinders this process, delaying your progress towards self-improvement. The Stoics emphasized the importance of avoiding harmful influences that can distract you from the path of virtue. An environment that brings you down is such an influence, and the Stoics would recommend taking steps to distance yourself from it to protect your moral integrity and inner peace. The habit of surrounding yourself with people who bring you down is a serious obstacle to personal development and the attainment of virtue. In Stoicism, the importance of choosing an environment that supports and inspires self-improvement is emphasized. For a Stoic, it is crucial to recognize the negative influence of one's environment and take steps to change it in favor of a more positive and supportive one, in order to maintain inner peace, strengthen virtues, and achieve harmony in life. The eighth habit, fear of change. Many people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone to try something new. However, fear of change can hinder your financial growth. Be ready for change and don't be afraid to take risks for your future. The habit of fearing change is seen in Stoicism as an obstacle to inner growth, the attainment of virtue, and harmony. The Stoics emphasize that change is an inherent part of life, and fear of it can limit our ability to adapt, learn, and live consciously. The Stoics recognize that change is a natural and inevitable part of life. Everything in the world is constantly changing, including our external circumstances and inner states. Fear of change signifies resistance to this natural dynamic of life, which can lead to frustration and internal conflict. The Stoics would suggest accepting change as a given and learning to live in harmony with it. In Stoicism, an important principle is the distinction between what is within our control and what is beyond it. Changes often fall into the latter category, and fear of them indicates an attempt to control what cannot be controlled. The Stoics would advise focusing on what we can control, our reactions and attitudes toward change, and accepting what cannot be altered. One of the key principles of Stoicism is developing resilience in the face of life's difficulties and changes. Fear of change weakens this resilience, making a person more vulnerable to stress and anxiety. The Stoics taught that every change is an opportunity for growth and character building. Instead of fearing change, the Stoics would encourage viewing it as a challenge that can make us stronger. Fear of change is often linked to attachment to stability and comfort. The Stoics warned against excessive attachment to material goods, status, or habits, as these things are not permanent and can change at any moment. The habit of fearing change may indicate an attachment to external things, which the Stoics considered a mistaken approach. They would advise developing inner independence and a readiness to adapt to any circumstances. Fear of change can hinder personal growth and development. When a person avoids change, they deprive themselves of new opportunities for learning, expanding their horizons, and achieving new goals. The Stoics emphasize the importance of constant self-improvement, which is impossible without openness to new experiences and change. In Stoicism, mindfulness and a rational approach to life are highly valued. Fear of change often stems from irrational thoughts and preconceived judgments about the future. The Stoics would suggest consciously analyzing these fears, asking oneself, what is the basis of this fear? Is it real, and striving for a more rational perception of change? Change is often associated with uncertainty, and the Stoics taught that accepting this uncertainty is an important part of achieving inner peace. Instead of fearing the unknown or unpredictable, the Stoics would advise embracing life as it is and trusting in one's reason and virtue in any circumstance. In Stoicism, fear of change is seen as a manifestation of a lack of mindfulness, self-control, and resilience. The Stoics taught that change is inevitable and that it can be beneficial for our growth and self-improvement. Overcoming the fear of change requires accepting it as a natural part of life, developing inner resilience, and adopting a rational attitude toward the inevitable shifts in life. Rather than resisting change, the Stoics would encourage viewing it as an opportunity to strengthen one's character and achieve inner peace. By eliminating these habits, you will take a significant step toward achieving financial success. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to control our desires and emotions, to be disciplined and mindful in our actions. Start implementing these changes today, and your path to financial independence will become clearer and more attainable. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next episode.